Better. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Yeah.
Welcome back to Two Dudes Watch Cartoons, the podcast where two dudes, that's us, watch cartoons. My name is Evan.
And my name is Alex, and I'm coming in hot today.
What
the fuck is this movie that we're about to cover today?
Yeah.
Holy... Okay, take it back just a little. Okay,
Yeah.
We're going to cover Apple TV's first animated movie, and it's called Luck. And let me tell you, the audience is in luck. Me and Evan watched this movie, so you don't have to. Oh my God. Okay. How are you, Evan? Wait, let's start with that. Maybe take it back even further. How you doing? Everything good with you?
Everything's good. You know, I feel like we've made some lucky picks in the past going off of just short plot synopses, and we got lucky with Chip and Dale. That was a great movie. And I'd seen some of the marketing. Lightyear was a good
one too.
Lightyear was good. I'd seen some of the marketing for this. Apple's involved in the production of this. This is their first animated movie.
We trust Apple with everything.
They had marketing for this movie on apple.com for like iPhones and MacBooks where the characters were popping out and dancing around the website. But as luck would have it, this pick absolutely fucking sucked.
Wow. Okay, let's just take it through. So Evan wanted to watch this, and he gave me good reasons why. Apple TV puts out great products. You know, people love Ted Lasso, people love Severance, The Morning Show. So when I heard they had an animated movie, I was like, oh, okay, that sounds good. So I went in blind. I knew zero about the movie, Evan. So when it starts off about an orphan aging out of an orphanage, I was like, oh shit, this could be interesting. And man, did this shit take a left turn. God damn.
I also went in with a zero knowledge basis. We were kind of scrambling for a pick last minute, and I thought it couldn't be that bad, right? But I thought wrong.
Apple TV made Coda. Coda won so many awards. Like,
that's true.
They make good stuff. I trusted you, Apple. I trusted you. Ready for this? Here's the thing: is I wouldn't even show this to a kid. Do you think kids? I don't think children would have a whole lot of interest in this movie.
No one past the age of 5. I think that's like where
100%.
The entertainment value tops out.
Talking cat, ha ha ha! Like that, you need to be on that level of entertainment.
So this movie started out under
3
Paramount
minutes in.
Animation. Yeah, this movie started out under Paramount Animation. Some behind the scenes fuckery, and it got abandoned. Paramount owns Nickelodeon, and they put out animated movies now and then that no one's ever heard of or ever watches or ever hears of
They'd
again.
be considered like straight to DVD movies nowadays. Okay, let's before we get into like why it's so bad, let's like get into some of the things that drew us to the movie. We've covered Apple. We trust Apple with our laptops, our phones, everything humanly possible. We were like, let's trust them with our animation. Okay, but then the voice cast is pretty good. The star, her name is Sam, and she is played by Eva, and I'm going to mispronounce this, Noblezada, who's a Broadway star. Great star.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not some nothing, up-and-coming star. I was like, ooh, yeah, okay, Apple, I see you. The number 2 in the movie, Simon Pegg.
Love him.
Loves him. I was like, you got a veteran, you have an up-and-comer. I was like, this has the makings of a good animated film. Jane Fonda is in the movie. Jane Fonda, renowned actress. Lil Rel. Everyone loves Lil Rel from Get Out. Also from the movie I actually know him better from is, oh my God, it's called Vacation Friends with John Cena. It's like a dumb comedy, but it's pretty, it made me laugh a couple times. But,
I can't say I've ever heard of it.
Yeah. So, I looked at the voice cast and I was like, hell yeah, I'm on board. Let's do this.
Whoopi Goldberg also has a smallish role. Flula Borg is kind of more niche, but he's in Suicide Squad. He's the javelin guy. He's in Chip and Dale. He's the snake. He's the unicorn with the
I know he's the
German accent.
unicorn in this. He had the thick accent and the mustache.
John Ratzenberger, which I know he's done a lot of voicing for Pixar in the past.
Not a lot. His thing is he's in every Pixar movie.
Okay, yeah.
It's different. I think it's
And
different.
so, yes, it is different. And so this is another interesting bit of trivia about this movie is the black cloud that hangs over this shitty movie is that it's headed up by John Lasseter, a former head of animation at Pixar. And then I think eventually he oversaw all of Disney animation in 2017, was ousted because of sexual harassment allegations, which valid. Get him the fuck out of there. But for whatever reason...
Why did John Ratzenberger follow him?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll go with the captain.
So he's ousted in, I think, 2017. That's about when this movie was starting to get put together. And so, like, shortly thereafter, he was brought on to help this. Like, this is his first project since that.
Is this in theaters? I think I saw this was in, like, select theaters right now. And
I hope that.
holy shit, would I be pissed if I went and saw this in a theater? Or, right for this, I always put myself, because some of the things we watch, we are not the key demo. That's fair. So I'll put myself in the shoes of like a parent or sometimes like a child. Like, do I think I'd enjoy this? And I'll be honest, no to both of those. Like you said, if I was 10, 11, 12, I'd be like, that was kind of a lame movie. And if I was a parent, I'd be like, wow, I wanted to sleep through all of that.
I mean, if you can't tell, this may be one of our shorter reviews.
We're done. Podcast over. No, we're going to get into why it's so bad, like beat for beat. First off, I'm just going to start right at the beginning. The animation.
Yeah.
Nikki came out halfway through the movie. I was watching it really early this morning, and she woke up and she came out, and well, she said something really funny to start. She goes, "Wow, that cat's huge," because it was standing next to the leprechauns. So she didn't have an understanding of. She thought they were just humans. She's like, "That's a big cat," and I was like, "Oh, they're leprechauns." So that was funny. But then she goes, "This animation looks like it's from the Barbie movie, like the old Barbie."
Yes, dude.
Did you have the same feeling, the same thought?
Yes. I mean, the writing of all of it, this felt like a fucking Barbie movie and not the one with Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie that's coming out. This felt like the straight-to-DVD Barbie movies.
Yeah.
That's shout out Nikki for that one.
Yeah. Even the dialogue at times, she would be in the kitchen and she would just start repeating random, "We have to get you home, Sam." Like, it's so bad. And it had nuggets of what could have been good.
Especially
and I think
early
that's,
on.
Yes. And I think that was my biggest problem is because you undersold it. Evan texted me last night. He goes, "I'm 30 minutes in. I don't know, maybe we need to pick something else." And I was like, I mean, your call. I haven't seen any of it yet. And he was like, "I'm going to finish it. He goes, "Let's do it." He goes, we could, talk about it honestly. Because most of the time we come on here and this is my recommendation. Can't recommend this movie enough. If you haven't watched it, you need to go do it right now. This one, wow, exact opposite. Stay fucking away. I almost got a free trial of Apple TV for this movie, and I would have shit myself out of pure anger.
So you borrowed my login.
Thank you.
Sorry, Apple.
Yeah, don't tell Apple.
Was this your first piece of Apple TV media that you watched?
Yes, it was.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Please
I've heard.
I'm
going to stick.
This.
Yeah, I've heard of Severance. I've heard of Ted Lasso. We've been trying to time our free trial properly so we can like get a big chunk of them in, but this works. We're gonna before we log out, we are for sure gonna watch both those shows. And ready for this, my first piece of Apple Media. The user interface was good. I liked it. I think that's an important part of streaming for me now. Yeah. So I'm going to start rating and recommending how I think these streaming services are doing. I really enjoyed their interface. That's one thing Apple is actually pretty good at usually compared to some of these other long-standing fucking streaming services. Cough, cough, Amazon. I know you have the money to make that better. Do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, before we go further, maybe we should just set the scene. What's the general plot?
Yeah. You want to start?
Yeah.
I got it. I'll start. Yeah, it's bad. I remember. I just watched it.
I'm thinking about the beginning of this movie. Yeah.
Ready? Okay. Sam is an 18-year-old girl. It could be a boy or a girl name. Living in a orphanage, and she has aged out of the orphanage. They are going to get her own apartment, a new job, and she started the movie starts off. They're making a music video. I don't even like it.
What the fuck was this? They were making like a TikTok or something?
I think they were making a TikTok. You're right. Yeah, it's supposed to be what it's like emblematic of. And so the young girl, it's bad. I don't remember the young girl's name, but she's got this young girl who Sam is projecting all of her hopes, wants, and desires of getting adopted onto this younger orphan. She's projecting so hard. The little girl even roasts her at one point. Sam, the older one's like, I'm sure you'll get adopted one day. And the younger girl goes, you didn't. Yeah, literally was like, what is... The dialogue in this movie ranges from like bad to like really bad. There's very few lines of good where I was like, yes, finally, I'm understanding the point of this movie.
Initial thought right off the bat, what a cheap play for sympathy on the
especially the fact that it played so little part in the movie. Yes. I thought that's what the movie was going to be about. I thought it was going to be her adjusting to life outside of the orphanage and this feeling of loneliness she got. So I can tell you the exact moment. So she's going about her life, and she's got all these crazy, wacky, bad luck moments going on. And so far, none of this feels supernatural or like very out of the realm of a cartoon, if that makes sense. It wasn't until she starts her first job where I was like, okay, what's going on here? She's got like a horrible string of bad luck. And so it was very based in the realm of reality for a moment. And I really liked that. I was like, okay, what it reminded me of is a really obscure. So later seasons of The Office, there's the new secretary, Ellie Kemper. Now I'm blanking. Erin. Her name's Erin in it. And she is an orphan who like aged out of orphanage, like was never adopted. And I thought that was where this movie was going to explore. And I was fully on board for that. I was thinking I had more of, when it like really first started, I had more of fucking Flea vibes. I thought this was going to be like a dark, serious story for a moment. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Not for long. Like I said, when the lucky string of the bad luck string happens. So she goes to her job where Lil Rel is her manager. Evan was very impressed. I got it off of one line. He was like, how did you place that?
Well, the reason I was so impressed is like, I was looking at the cast. I was already halfway through the movie. I was like, when does Lil Rel come?
And he had already been in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it right away. And like I said, maybe it was because of Vacation Friends where he plays like the main character. So she is just like her luck is like comically bad. Like it's the toast flip-flopping on the wall, dominoing down, leaving stains of jelly. I was like, that's too much. What's going on here? But so I'm still in. This is still based in the world of reality for me. You know what I mean? I'm still in on the plot at this point.
Here's the thing, though. I was already checked out by this point because this takes about fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is true.
Of just visual gags of her being clumsy.
This movie is 90% visual gags.
Well, no. This movie is all exposition and details and almost no plot. It's just
so little plot.
So she's, comically unlucky, and then she travels to the land of luck. Hold on. Clovers and
I need to get to the part where I got lost. She's talking with the cat on the street, who is Simon Pegg's character. But at this point, the cat hasn't talked because we are still based in reality at this point. And she finds, once the cat leaves, she does a good deed. I like this part of the story. Like I said, I was into where this was going. Is she did a good deed by feeding a hungry stray cat, and she found a lucky coin that she was going to give to the little girl because she did the scientific method and tested it out and realized it was 100% in fact good luck. And so with her toast, she did the scientific method. And so she loses, she flushes the fucking thing down the toilet in a series of visual gags. It goes down the toilet, and she goes back to try to find it. She's like, I can't believe I lost that coin. And the cat's like, you lost that coin? And then that is where the movie lost me. Instantly, I was like, oh, we have a talking cat now. Okay. And it just only goes downhill from there.
This was one of my hangups is they travel to the land of luck. It's leprechauns, it's clovers, all that shit. Everything's green. A lot of green in this movie.
It's a weird
Simon
portal.
Pegg's character is a
talking
black cat
opened up
with a Scottish accent. And I was like, why not Irish?
Why not Irish?
Isn't that the whole... What?
But apparently
get
in
the point of-
Scotland, black cats are good luck. I think that was the mythos behind it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, we get to the land of the luck, and just another one. Did you know that pigs were lucky? What was that
No.
about? There's a million pigs in the land. We
Yeah.
get there, and I thought it was Zootopia for a minute. There's like mostly animals. There's a bunch of rabbits,
Yeah.
which that took me a minute. And I was like, rabbits? Are rabbits? Why are rabbits here? And then I was like, a rabbit foot is considered good luck. But the pig one went completely over my head, and I'm sure we're like dissing some culture around the world that reveres pigs as super lucky. But that one went over my head. Like, I'm assuming a dragon is lucky in Chinese. Oh no,
Couldn't tell
not
you.
me.
Probably.
Okay,
I don't
not
know.
this.
So like, I don't-
Oops. Okay. I don't know, but I assume that's why
okay.
the dragon was there. I never figured out the pigs.
You talked about the quality of the animation looking like Barbie moves. And for the first 20 to 30 minutes, it's more noticeable because we are based in reality
Yeah.
again. Once we travel to the land of luck, there's magical creatures, there's leprechauns. It's more forgivable and less noticeable there. But in those first 20 minutes, especially with the main character,
Yeah.
she's just like a adult human. It's so noticeable. Her eyes are fucking lifeless. They just look like dolls.
Her hair's lifeless. Her hair is in a constant wave, like there's air blowing through it constantly. Almost, it looks like, and it never moves.
Yeah.
Like she's stagnant.
There's like points where she's like slightly cross-eyed. She hardly blinks. It's really fucking unsettling. And they're not expressive at all. Like the first 5-10 minutes, her talking with her little orphan friend,
you can't tell it's supposed to be so sad.
and
Her little
I
orphan
felt like
friend. That's what we're gonna call her for the rest of this goddamn podcast. Unfortunately,
I felt like I was watching like a prescription. You know how some prescription drug commercials are like animated now? I felt like I was watching like an AstraZeneca commercial.
Oh my
like,
God.
That's like
I totally
the
could
quality
see
of,
it.
and the lifelessness of these people just like walking around slowly. Something's a little bit off.
oh, it's the uncanny
fucking
valley. Oh my God, Chippendale was
is.
making fun of it. This not all the time. I don't want to give it that stigma all the time, but there was definitely points where you were just like, oh, it's so It's trying to be real, but it's not. It's just It's bad computer animation. It's mind blowing to me that this movie started production in like 2017, 2018. Because first off, oh my God, well, not even first off. We've been talking about it for a while now. This movie's 2 fucking hours long.
It's 100.
Stop. I looked on my thing.
It's the longest 100.
It said like an hour and 58 minutes. I don't believe 100.
Did it?
I swear, when I turned that son of a bitch on, Evan, I was shook. And then there's even a point in the movie where I am assuming we're wrapping up. So when a movie I don't like, I will check how much time's left. So I paused it and unpaused it, and I had an hour left. I was absolutely gobsmacked. I said, okay, I see where this is going. We're wrapping it up here. And I look and I go, there's an hour left.
Runtime, according to Wikipedia, is 105 minutes.
Okay,
So-
whatever. Maybe I'm
but it's-
wrong.
yeah.
Well,
I was
2 hours is 120 minutes, so it's 15
close.
minutes
Yeah.
shy of 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
I was definitely checking the clock the
my
whole time.
God, I can't believe how and it's slogged. It had horrible pacing, and that was part of the reason I think no child would watch and enjoy this goddamn movie for 2 hours. Children have shorter attention spans than I do.
And it's a shame because there's some interesting stuff that I feel like could have been explored. But the writing is so bad.
The writing's really bad. The dialogue's awful. But so, I mean, we can go through some of the bad and some of the good. I do want us to make sure we stop and talk about good things. So
Yes.
once we get to the land of luck, I had the issue of I needed to ditch my hopes and wants of this movie to be based in reality. And we literally jumped through a portal, and she needs to be a leprechaun, but obviously she's not leprechaun size because Sam is a human. So they say she is just a leprechaun from Lafayette. Lafayette. Sorry to everyone out there. And everyone just fucking says,
Goes with it.
okay. Yeah, they make him big there. And it's just like,
Yeah.
what is going? It's so bad, Evan. It's so bad. The problem is it really goes from like one bad thing right into the next bad thing.
Okay, let me. One highlight
Please,
of this movie,
please.
one, maybe the only, is before they traveled to the land of luck. So Simon Pegg's character, the Black Cat, talks to her for the first time, and she finds out the penny she had picked up was his lucky coin. He's from this other realm, and that's his ticket to get back in. Or I don't know.
There's a whole procedure.
Exactly.
Or like when you come back, you got to give your penny, but then when you leave, you can take it with you, and he doesn't have it, so he's got to put a button there. This movie got bogged down in bureaucracy of all things.
It did. That's exactly what it was. But okay, let me just get this out of the way. Before they go through the portal back to the land of luck, she chases this cat through the streets, through the real world streets, because she's like, there's a fucking magical cat who has lucky coins to dole out, and which I have slight problems with. This is like, so her motivation is she needs a lucky coin to give to her little orphan friend so her friend can get adopted.
Yep.
So is the implication that getting adopted is based on chance?
It's luck. It's all luck.
There's no paperwork. There's no procedure.
It is 100% good and bad luck if that little child gets adopted.
But the chase sequence was pretty entertaining. That was like one of the highlights of the visual gags.
Evan, I'm just going to be honest with you. If that's the highlights that you're spitting for this movie, that's a dig, bro. Yeah. I barely remember the scene. Okay.
He was walking on top of umbrellas. And it was, I don't know. It was kind of cool.
Okay. He's super lucky, and she's super unlucky. Yes. Classic buddy cop team up. Okay. And, wow. Okay. Is that a good message for orphans? That it's all luck?
No, that's what...
If you don't get adopted, it was just bad luck caused by the roots.
That's why it's such a cheap
goblins.
Play. It's like, oh, they're orphans.
Yeah.
You should
feel bad for them.
This is a heartfelt movie. It's going to pull on your heartstrings, and it doesn't.
No.
Literally, I don't give a shit
oh
about
my God,
this.
Evan, you just nailed something. I haven't seen a movie that really tries to play on my heartstrings that failed so badly at it, because I'm a really empathetic person. It can be the smallest thing in a movie, and I'm like, oh, I feel for that character. Be like, remember when they said nobody liked them as a child? Instantly, like, it could be one line of dialogue. If they sell it, I'm like, I feel bad for them now. This movie, you had me not caring about orphans. That's insane. I don't even remember the little orphan friend girl's name. That's really bad. And I literally just came off of the movie.
I think this is a weakness in the writing, though. It's like they don't know what the core of their
the
story
motivation
is, like
get adopted, but it's like the motivation needs to be more like anti loneliness and like the found family of it all.
The found family, yeah, and that's how they set it up. Because in the beginning, they're like talking about forever family, and it felt like they were trying to force like a Ohana means family.
They didn't
like,
come back to it till the end.
They didn't come back. Yeah,
they don't ever address that.
But the rest
of the movie,
that's the setup, and then the payoff at the end is about like you make your own luck, or like how you.
No
deal
one ever
with
said that, thankfully.
Then at the very end, it's like, oh, we're a forever family now.
Where did that come from? The cat is that British Simon Pegg, which weird twist throughout the movie. When he loses his luck, he becomes a British black cat. Hated that. British Simon Pegg was off-putting to me, and he was like, "Well, I thought I could be your family." And I was like, where did this come from? They really didn't get along much of the movie, nor did they there was no growth arc. There was no, like, real, let me save you off of a ledge instead of saving the coin. They never had a moment like that. The found family came out of nowhere. It was like someone in the writing room was like, oh, shit, how are we wrapping this up? And they were like, we're not going back and changing any of the last hour and 45 minutes, though.
I think just the writing in general suffers. I'm looking at the production notes.
Can we roast them? Who are the writers?
Keel Murray, screenwriter for Cars, and Cars 3 was hired to rewrite the screenplay. So maybe it started from a place that wasn't great. Directed by Peggy Holmes.
Shame on you, Peggy.
Other credits are direct-to-DVD, Tinkerbell.
Stop. That's what this felt like!
So that speaks... I hate like ragging on this random director.
We're publicly shaming. That's what we're doing
here. Coming in, yeah. All the dialogue is just explaining expositional details of how the Land of Luck works. This whole movie, they're chasing different MacGuffins around the Land of Luck. They're like, oh, we have to go to the Lucky Factory now. This is where they make lucky pennies. And she goes, why is that? And then they explain that. And then they get there and like, okay, now we need lucky crystals. So we got to go to the lucky crystal room.
Oh, but watch out, there's bad luck.
I feel like the writer mistook detail in the Land of Luck in this world that they're building for like plot.
Since you didn't say it, I will. Evan sent me a text mid-movie and goes, the movie is literally going from one room to the next and them saying, this is the flip-flop flippity-floop. And she goes, what's that? And that's, oh my, it was literally scene by scene. It's really bad. I'm not kidding. Don't show your kids this movie. Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
And ready for this? If you want to give it a bad review without seeing it, you 100% have my permission to do that. I would never endorse giving a review of a movie you've never seen besides this.
There was one scene where they get back to the Land of Luck. Simon Pegg lost his coin, so he's got to put in a button and get past the chief, played by Whoopi Goldberg. And they go back and forth. They're trying to sneak Sam in the side. For whatever reason, in each of Whoopi Goldberg's lines, she says Simon Pegg's character name, Bob. She's like, what are you doing, Bob? Bob, that's not funny, Bob. As if we're going to forget this main character's name, which, I mean, this whole movie is forgettable, but it was like, why? I don't understand. What is the reason for that choice?
We're not Bob's the easiest name to remember. Another great part, though, is by the end, Nikki is kind of tuned in and watching the end of it. She's missed most of it. So she didn't get to hear Whoopi Goldberg say Bob 6 times in a row. She was like asking, because she really likes cats. She's like, oh, what's the cat's deal? She loved how big the eyes are. She's like, why are animated cats' eyes always huge? I said, it's to make them look cute. And she goes, she was like, what's this? I was like, this is a magic black cat who lives in the Land of Luck, but is from the Land of Bad Luck. And he talks and, you know, he's helping fix everything that's going on. And then someone goes, blah, 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 Bob. She goes, and his name's Bob? I was like, yeah, his name's just Bob. That's talk about lazy writing. That's like a name you put in when you're like, we'll think of a better name later. And they were just like, okay, he's just Bob now. We could talk about, John Ratzenberg's character is a root monster, and his name's Rudy. Hated that.
That's in the third act of the third act.
So, this is when they had to go to the Land of Bad Luck because she had been there once. She had to go back because at one point she saw a green light, which is an indicator of good luck. I'm always curious about movies' use of color to depict like different things. So in Star Wars, you have blue is good and red is evil. This one, they went with green is good luck and purple is bad luck. Yeah. And I don't have anything to say about that. I guess I just always think it's really interesting when movies pick that. I mean, I guess it seems like the right, like green means go.
What's her name? Jinx in Teen Titans.
Is purple. Is pinkish purple.
Raven also purple.
So yeah, maybe you're onto something. Okay. Yeah. The worst part of this movie, absolute worst dog shit part, because it made me care for a moment, but in the wrong way. This whole time they're trying to remake a new lucky coin because there's all this bureaucracy and protocol that they can't get around to get a new one because she's got to get it to her little orphan friend so she can get adopted because she's got a visit on Saturday. And fucking Sam has the brilliant goddamn idea of, oh my God, I'll just turn down the bad luck. If there's not as much bad luck in the world, she's more likely to encounter good luck. Instantly, I was like, well, that's a bad idea. So she goes down there and clogs up the bad luck fucking cloggerator, unclog thing. And that the unicorn specifically explained for 10 minutes of dialogue and how important it was to the bad luck generator. She fucking clogs it. And sure as shit, it explodes. It blows up. And instantly, like I said, it was the worst part of the movie because it made me care in the wrong way. As soon as she had this idea, I go, that's the dumbest idea. I was like, that's the dumbest idea ever. I like stood up and started getting angry for a minute. I was like, why would she think that's a good idea? I listened to the same dialogue she did.
I don't know. Maybe youthful ignorance.
Yeah, she is 18,
arrogance,
I guess.
maybe. I don't know.
Fuck. Man. Okay, you at least had that 1 week compliment. I'm going to see if I can try to yeah.
What's the best compliment you can muster out for this movie?
I'm going to start it off with an insult, unfortunately. if you could cut 45 minutes out of this movie, I think the found family theme could have been a lot stronger. But due to all the lame world-building exposition that really was not needed, it totally gets forgotten and lost, and it's like two bookends. It's at the start and at the end, and literally no mention of it in the middle, in my opinion. And if there was signs of it, they were so bad and unobvious that they're not worth mentioning. But I think that theme could have been very strong. So I think there's like potential.
Yeah.
And you want to know the worst goddamn part of this movie is I bet you there's going to be a fucking sequel. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I can feel it in my bones that there's a Luck 2 coming.
Probably. One of my chief complaints with this movie is the first hour. There's no antagonist. It's just her stumbling through the land of luck. The first negative stake that comes in that faces our two central characters is the chief
Bob and
coming to
Sam.
arrest Bob for putting in the fake coin. That's at 15 minutes. That's the first time there's anything at risk for our central characters. Everything leading up to that is visual gags.
It's unnecessary. And like I said, I only think it's going to keep children's attention span for so long. This is not like a Narnia. This is not like a Harry Potter Hogwarts. Like, this is not like some world that children are going to be like, I want to go to the land of luck. You know what I mean? They're not going to spend hours dreaming like people wanted to go to Hogwarts, or like I said, Narnia, or like Star Wars. I want to go to Tatooine or something. Like, I really think they thought they had something with the land of luck, and just like, oh, this place where everything works out. All the visual gags. We didn't even talk about what the visual gags are. In the land of luck, it's everyone just tossing things into the air and them getting in the appropriate spot. That's all it is.
It's her dropping a piece of toast from up here, and it lands face up, jelly side up on her plate.
Real.
And she does that 6 times. I was so angry. Why would that be how you measure your luck? I don't know.
It's like, I've never used that as an indicator of good or bad luck. Okay, I got that 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm like really angry about this movie. Got to calm down. I really think we can kind of wrap up here and maybe get into some news of stuff and just talk about general what have yous. I'm trying to think if there's really anything more important. We didn't talk about Jane Fonda's dragon at all, but it's because it's a truly unforgettable character who has a long lost love that she banished herself. So her loneliness is self-imposed. There's nothing else that I can really think of.
Do you remember? Okay, so in the final act of the movie, they create 2 luck stones
and a bad luck stone.
And 1 bad luck stone.
Jane Fonda has this great plan to make 2 good luck stones, but she made the bad luck stone. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, she was going to put in the 2 luck stones and eliminate bad luck from the world. And Sam goes, No. What? Why?
My bad luck has led to fortune. My bad luck has made me who I am today. I think that's actually the message they were trying to go through, is like the tough times build character and the bad luck makes you who you are. And, I actually had this thing I was going to say. Have you ever had a stroke of misfortune that turned into a good thing? Ready for this? 2020 COVID pandemic, when life changed as we know it. I had a few strokes in a very bad time. Me and Evan got our podcast going, which was something we had been very much struggling with for years. And I eventually met my girlfriend, who I now love and live with. So, I think maybe my other point was there are good messages sprinkled throughout here, but they never focus on them or give the appropriate spotlight. It's always very it just wasn't very clear, a lot of the movie. I think they thought they had a good theme, metaphor, message or whatever, but it was really lost.
I think here's how I'll counter that is the global pandemic is not some random happenstance.
No, it was caused by bad luck crystals in the air, and when you got it up your nostril, that's how you got COVID.
Bad luck is airborne.
Yeah, bad luck it became airborne in our world, and that was COVID 2020.
If the message is about dealing with adversity, they're saying all of her adversity is happenstance, or like I don't know. It cheapens what they're, the central message of the
and
movie.
does it take away from your successes? Is like, it was just a good luck crystal that flew into my face.
This is a mess of writing.
It's really bad. It's so bad. I'm really done with it. This is maybe our short. I even think we talked about Space Jam 2 for longer than this. And that was bad.
That was bad, but it's watchable.
I would watch that again before this.
They don't slow down the movie to explain every detail of the virtual world that they're in. They're like, we're in a video game now. They did do a little
of that, though. They did do a bit of that, though. Maybe this is a good meter of what we gauge as a good versus bad movie.
Yeah.
They had a bit of algae rhythm. Remember, he explained the whole metaverse,
but they do it.
What was it called? WV verse or whatever.
But they do it in like one throwaway sentence, whereas this movie is like
This spends scenes and scenes and scenes.
It's all throwaway sentences.
Let's give, I guess, closing thoughts on it, though. Yeah. Oh, and do you have some? Yeah,
just
you want to go?
One random thing I just saw in the casting in April 2019. Emma Thompson was hired to voice a character in the film, but left the project after Lasseter was hired. Good choice.
Oh, yeah. Hey, good choice. Good for you. That could be a good closing statement.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I had sent you a couple of Letterboxd.
You know what? Let's do that before we could do any sort of closing thoughts. We got our new segment where we're gonna read Letterboxd reviews. You wanna read one and I'll go next?
Let me see.
Now I can't find them.
I can't find them either.
Where did they go? Okay, I got one if you're not ready.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, all the ones you sent me, you're going to have to find different ones. This one just says half a star. I think that's as maybe low as you can go. Yeah. It says, ha, 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 get fucked, John Lasseter.
That's how I feel about this movie.
Yeah. Okay. And then 1 star. So this one gave it half a star more. Fuck you, John Lasseter. Sorry, I'm always required to say that whenever I review a movie he's involved in. But yeah, the movie was ass. LOL, period. I'll elaborate a bit more. To be fair, the movie actually doesn't start off terrible. Hell, you could even say it starts kind of cutish.
That's the thing. There was some promise.
Yeah.
In the first
and that
couple
was the
of
big
minutes.
letdown is you gave me real low expectations and I fooled myself in the beginning. Like, maybe this won't be as bad as I think.
He's being a little tough on this.
Maybe he's being harsh.
You're not the target audience, Evan. Come on, man.
Oh my God. I got fooled. I'm going to read this one too, just because I unfortunately had a similar thought. Not like, okay, let me rephrase. I had a different thought.
Yeah.
Not the same thought. But so this one says, outside John misconduct being involved. That's funny. They differ. This one gave it a 3 stars, though. I don't like that. And it's because of the second half. Outside of John misconduct being involved, it's a movie, I guess. Also, not going to lie, Sam is pretty thick. Now, I'm not like endorsing that or agreeing with that, but I did make a note. I said, there is a weird amount of screen time in the start of this movie on this animated girl's ass. I said, I'm not one to notice these type of things unless it's in my face, but she was literally like in the toilet doing all this stuff, trying to get the thing back. And I was like, this is gross. And I was like, now I understand John fucking misconduct, as they call him.
That's the John Lasseter touch, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. And the fact that people are calling her thick online is a testament that I was not as weird as I thought for being like, what the fuck?
So this is the low point of the podcast. This is the worst thing we watched
even still listening.
on the podcast in 2 years. This is the worst thing.
I went through. I said there was like Space Jam, and I did say there was another one early on that we were not fond of, but we at least talked about
the Christmas one.
That's what it was.
It was fun.
Santa Inc. And it had moments where we were like, no. Some of this was funny. Some of it was stupid. This was just not even stupid, just bad. Mm-hmm. Just really, really bad. It's unbelievably bad.
I feel like Apple put a lot of weight into it. You know, it's been being hyped up like Apple TV Plus's first animated movie. And it fucking shat the bed. Steve Jobs is turning over in his grave right now.
Steve Jobs is like, this is not what Apple was founded for. It was for cool boxes and new iPhones every year.
And I mean, Steve Jobs had led Pixar early on.
He did at one point.
Yeah.
Apple owned Pixar or something like that. You're right. He did have some involvement with Pixar. That's funny, this weird sort of turnaround. Maybe John Lasseter and Apple have some sort of... Maybe that's the connection we're missing. Yeah, I don't have any closing thoughts. I said everything I need to say about this movie.
Yeah.
I'm more excited to talk about all the news we have. We've been sending news back and forth.
Dear listeners,
sorry.
We took the bullet for you on this one. It's going to take us a while to recover. If you have any good movie recs for us to watch, please send them our way. We need them. Yeah.
This was a filler. No, you know what? Also, getting to this point in the podcast, we had a disruption in our schedule. I had the unfortunate event of my grandma unexpectedly had passed away. And so Evan was very kind. We took a little break. I haven't been streaming or podcasting or anything. So I do like to take these moments, though, whether I'm watching reality TV or things like this. It's always a nice reminder of, me, Nikki, and Brendan, we get together every Wednesday of why we watch these shows and movies. We get together, they give us a warm, fuzzy feeling, and you can spend some quality time. Even when I was in Michigan for the funeral, I saw Evan for a day. And what did we do? We watched Nathan Fielder's amazing show, and we had the best time of our life. So, even though it's just a silly podcast about cartoons, it is nice getting together with friends, fans, Evan here, talking about whatever sort of movie or TV we're watching. And I think that's the thing I like to take away from moments like this. Horrible or not, I love discussing TV with you, my good friend Evan, and all of our fans.
If you are still listening at this point,
we
appreciate you. Honestly, whether you watch whatever we're talking about or not, it's been a little more than 2 years now that we're been on this.
It's just over 2 years. Yeah, we just said pandemic. It was in July we dropped our first episode.
So thank you for being on this ride with us. It's been a good time. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't plan that at all. It kind of just started and I was rolling. But we're kind of celebrating a 2-year anniversary here. This is great with such a shitty watch. What a stroke of luck for us. Let's talk news. We got news. And one thing I wanted to clarify this because I feel like in a lot of our news segments, we talk about a lot of superhero things. Now, while these are live action, not cartoons, the source material for a lot of them are comic books, which is a different form of cartoon, and animated series from the past. And so I just think that's the important why we have a love of superheroes, and obviously why we did so much with Batman, if you recall. But so
you don't have to rationalize. We just love superheroes.
We just love superheroes. So
let's be real.
A lot of this news is about to be very superhero related. But I want to start with WB, which stands for what the fuck is going on right now. So they announced that they were canceling a few movies that they had been talking about that were completed. The most notable one being Batgirl. Batgirl was going to be a very large movie for them, and they just scrapped it. And, it was under a few days of figuring this out, and it turns out it was for a tax rebate. How?
A tax write-off,
A tax write-off. So, let's talk about if you are, actor, director, crew, a marketer for this, any involvement of this movie. How shitty do you have to feel that all your time and work you put into that movie, they were like, tax write-off? That's all it's going to amount to. And the thing was, so when they said they weren't releasing it, my mind went to, okay, they're just going to send it to HBO Max. They're not even doing that.
This one's particularly egregious because Michael Keaton was involved, the original 1989 Batman. There had been a lot of speculation that he would take over the Batman role in the DC multiverse. But what a slap in the face to our first big screen Batman. And everyone involved. Leslie Grace looked awesome in the Batgirl costume. The two co-directors of the movie were involved in Ms. Marvel. Kevin Feige even reached out to them after news of the cancellation. Was like, hey, just sending you my support. Sorry that happened. What a shitty way to treat talent.
They found out via the press release. Everyone involved found out via the news as well. What a horrible, horrible way. And So this was not the only cancellation. There was a few others. I'll be honest, I am blanking on them because that was the big one. Do you know any of the other things they had canceled off the top of your head?
I mean, there's some stuff that was up in the air. There was a Supergirl.
Yeah.
Who knows what stage of production it was at, but that was up in the air, and I think it's probably not going to happen at this point because The Flash was supposed to set that up. But curiously enough, The Flash is still set to happen as of now, and maybe not.
Now-ish. So that's the second piece of news, is that while WB is canceling a bunch of things that have, no baggage attached to them at all, they are still considering releasing the Flash movie, even though Ezra Miller has full-on become the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
They are on an unprecedented celebrity crime spree. Every bit of news about Ezra Miller has completely shocked me. It's one wild headline after another, one wild allegation after another. And so even during all of these wild events going on, it is found out that WB this very summer did reshoots with Ezra Miller.
David Zaslav, the day after, or maybe a couple days after, was like, we're still really excited about The Flash. They're doubling down on this movie. Most recently, Ezra was charged with burglary or something. I want to say in Vermont.
Criminal burglary, yep. And then there's also some, this is all alleged, but there's missing people involved, a mother and daughter.
Wasn't there talk that they lead a cult? They led a cult.
Talks of a cult? This is all alleged. We are not accusing anyone of anything. But the headlines are absolutely wild. The charges, a bar fight after bar fight, internationally. Like, that was the other thing, is every headline was in a new location. That was absolutely insane, which leads to, like, the Flash mythos of it all. Yeah. Are they just running around the world causing trouble? So it's wild. And WB now has stated they are considering either releasing the movie and having Ezra Miller do no press. There was a second option, which
I think it was release and then recast for going forward.
Yeah, and then the other one was potentially scrapping.
Yeah.
But as we've talked about, this movie's been in production since before Luck was even in production. This started at the same time the Flash TV series was like getting its start. This movie has been in talks for so long. WB must be absolutely shitting themselves at the idea of canceling this if they have not already.
Talk about a streak of bad luck. WB has been on a downhill descent, increasing velocity since Justice League. Maybe that's a moral of the lesson, moral of the story.
They have announced they are like redoing DC as a whole. Yeah. Like, have you heard that?
Well, so here's where it gets convoluted. Michael Keaton has a role in The Flash, and so people thought he was going to take over for Ben Affleck going forward as kind of the preeminent Batman of the universe. Recently, Ben Affleck was on the set of Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
Which Michael Keaton was rumored to have an appearance in, but now Ben Affleck, who had supposedly hung up the cape after Justice League, is back doing some cameo scenes or whatever. So, like, the state of DC movies is fucked right now.
So they're trying to restart. They're trying to have their own Flashpoint without even having the movie. I think that's part of the problem, is they really want this movie probably to reset their whole DC universe, but they, like, are very much now like, we can't. Who's going to watch this movie? Who's going to go watch this movie? And it's so bad. And Ezra Miller also, they are in the Fantastic Beasts series, which is in its own set of hot water for other problematic creators of the series. Yeah. So it's just
and other problematic cast members, right? Didn't Johnny Depp was? Oh yeah,
they recast Johnny Depp though. They recast Johnny Depp a while ago. Wow. Okay, let's get on to different news. Okay, I got one. This one's funny to me because I hate when movies, specifically Avatar, stakes that they're having a 5-movie trilogy for the next 50 years or whatever. So this one says Sonic 3 and Avatar 3 will both release December 2024. Which one will you be watching? And my favorite comment was someone was like, when did they have Avatar 2? because that's exactly how I feel. They haven't even had the second one yet.
My brother literally texted me that after, because I posted that to our story. He's like, whoa, did Avatar 2 come out yet? I was like, no, it hasn't.
But it is about to come out, though. And so I want to make a claim. If we can get a lot of people for December of 2024 to only go see Sonic 3 and not go see Avatar 3. That's the mission.
It's going to feature Shadow.
It's featuring Shadow, and I this is my Twitter source, and Twitter is not always reliable, and so this could easily be a joke, but someone on Twitter said Christian Bale.
I sent it to you.
Damn, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Someone said Christian Bale was going to voice Shadow, and like after the Idris Elba casting, I was like, I believe it. I believe it.
Now, here's the thing. I cannot picture anyone else doing it now. Can you imagine Christian Bale as Shadow?
Yes, I totally can. After I finally saw Thor: Love and Thunder, and he was the highlight of that movie. Like, so yes, sign him up to be a villain in as Shadow. I'm all for it.
If we're not going to cover Sonic 1 and 2, that ship is sailed. Let's watch Sonic 3 when it comes out.
We could do all of them together, I feel like. I've watched Sonic 1. I haven't seen Sonic 2. Well, I would lump all three of them together. We can stake that podcast for 2024 when it comes out, and we can boycott Avatar together, because it's egregious that this dude 12 years or whatever, however long after the first one, is like, yeah, it's a 5-part series. You didn't know? No, what are you talking about?
There is a live-action Pac-Man movie directed by Justin Baldoni, who was an actor on Jane the Virgin, which is actually a really, really great sitcom that was on the CW.
Interesting.
How does Pac-Man work in
Batman
live
on
action?
The brain.
How is that going to work?
Yeah.
He's a yellow
What is
circle.
Pac-Man going to look like? Because there's the old Pac-Man that's literally just wah, 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 wah. Then they did update Pac-Man. You know, they gave him arms and a legs in a 3D version. So I have to imagine it's going to be based off that 3D version, but holy shit, that's going to look terrifying in live action. They need to give it the Sonic treatment. They're going to do like a really bad one first, and then they'll be like, oh, what do you think, audience? And they'll be like, this, and this are wrong. And they'll be like, oh, great, we'll fix that.
Okay, this one's a bright spot, I think. Seth Rogen tweeted on August 4th, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is in theaters 1 year from today. So we've got about a year until Seth Rogen produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comes out.
Seth Rogen makes good stuff.
Has been on its hair. Invincible.
Yeah.
The Boys.
Boys.
All his previous acting comedy work.
I'm obsessed with Superbad. If the audience doesn't know, I think Superbad's one of the funniest movies ever made. And he's, the guy who made it. So, big Seth Rogen fan. This is kind of Seth Rogen news, because I'm pretty sure was in one of these movies, but they are also making a Kung Fu They are making a Kung Fu Panda 4.
What's he, the grasshopper?
Yeah, I think he was the grasshopper.
It's praying mantis.
Right? Yes. Yep. You got it. it. Sorry, I had to.
Is that going to be in theaters, Dino, or is it going to like Netflix or something?
Couldn't tell you.
You'll enjoy this. Patton Oswalt recently said that Eternals 2 is in development.
Oh,
Chloe
I do
Zhao
love that.
Returning to direct. Let's fucking go.
They didn't announce it. Marvel did not announce it on their 15-movie slate. They announced 2 Marvel movies in the same year, 2025, and they didn't announce Eternals 2. And I won't lie, I got very nervous that they were just going to work them into all the other movies and not have their own, movie again. I need Harry Styles. Where's he been?
He said it on the Today Show, so
that's a trustworthy source.
Yeah.
You can't you can't just say shit on the Today Show without approval.
True. I wonder if he accidentally let that slip. But
nah.
Yeah, fuck you to everyone who did not like that movie, because that's the best Marvel movie
in a while.
Behind Loki, that's the best Phase 4 thing
100%. Nailed it. I love Loki. I will watch Loki too. Marvel's its own thing. I have my ups and downs with them. Yeah.
What did you think of the whole Comic-Con announcement slate, trailers, all that?
I mean, the problem with it now is
fucking shit.
I used to care so much about everything that was coming, like every installment. It's just too much at the moment. It's absolute overload, because the shows are 6 hours instead of, the movies, which are 2. And the worst part is most of these TV shows actually should be a movie. I don't know if I've said this on air. This is the formula.
Falcon
Episode
and Winter
1
Soldier, movie.
Episode 1 is amazing. This is every Disney. This is even the Star Wars one. Episode 1 is amazing. Episodes 2, 3, and 4 are dog shit. Episode 5, something huge happens, and then episode 6, once again, is amazing. And I'm telling you, you could take out a lot of the fluff and just make it a movie. It'd be so easy, but they're just trying to keep our attention for too long. The things I am excited for that Marvel has coming up, and some of them are a far ways away. I'm excited for the new season of Loki. I really want to see what they do with Blade. I think that'll be great. Daredevil's my fucking boy, so I'll watch, all 18 episodes of his new show. And I'm curious what they also do with the Fantastic Four. So those are the things I'm looking forward to, but some of them are a ways away, so I'm just going to have to sledge through more She-Hulk and I Am Groot in the meantime.
You had sent me this tweet that perfectly sums it up. Back in the day, if you did a TV show called Surf Dracula, you'd see that fool surfing every week in new adventures. But in the streaming area, the entire first season got to be a long-ass flashback to how he got the surfboard until you finally get to see him surf for 5 minutes in the finale. And that perfectly sums up
100%
all these fucking origin shows. I feel like my biggest takeaway from the Marvel announcements at Comic-Con, and like a lot of the takeaway from Twitter, was just like backlash from the VFX industry. Like, well, fuck. Marvel is a shitty VFX client now because they just shorten their deadlines. They want more output. Nobody
they're content
likes them
churner.
as a client.
It's bad. It is bad because it's becoming more noticeable for me. It really, really hit me during Black Widow and Shang-Chi. And there's parts in Black Widow where I'm like, you guys are outside, and I can tell this is clearly a green screen. Like, why don't you just go outside? It was bad. And I'm not one to normally, like, nitpick things like that. But when I notice it over and over again and it starts, like, detracting from the scene, that's where I have an issue with it. I don't think they even stepped foot in San Francisco for Shang-Chi. I think it was all green screen. I'm not kidding.
Probably.
Yeah, where back in the day, they would have gone to San Francisco.
Any other thoughts on the Marvels? What do you think of Thor: Love and Thunder?
It was good. I think some people gave it like unnecessary hate. I think some people gave it unnecessary praise. It needed 10% less jokiness from me, and it would have been like really good. Loved Christian Bale in it. I really actually liked the ending, spoilers, I guess, for Jane and Thor finally, because that's always been like a weird spot where she was just like missing from the MCU after. So I did like that stuff, but it was just good.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
For me, it was just bad. But, to each their own.
You didn't like Christian Bale? He was really creepy.
I loved Christian Bale, but he was a little underutilized.
Yeah, they could have done more of him and less of Korg talking about his two dads, which... But we're ready for this. I saw a TikTok and someone was like, "Oh, but in the last movie, Korg clearly talks about his mother who has a new boyfriend, and he really hates her boyfriend. So how do you explain now that you're saying he has two dads?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." It's like the fuck. I was like, "You play the character. You play the character."
Is Taika Waititi slipping?
Yeah, I was like,
I've seen rumblings of people saying like Taika Waititi has hit Lin-Manuel Miranda levels of saturation.
I know how you feel about that. You just wanted to slip in a Lin-Manuel Miranda roast, you son of a bitch. You're just looking for jabs wherever you could. I can see that only in the sense that this movie had like screaming goats. I really think feels like he can do no wrong almost, if that makes sense. Because I'll be honest, Jojo Rabbit is maybe one of the best movies I've ever seen, like ever.
I love that
and
movie.
So it's hard for me to be like, no, he's washed up, but I can after this movie, it's really going to depend on what he does next. I wonder if it's just the Marvel Disney churn machine though. They're like, you need to get this movie out. If remember, this movie had the shortest window of marketing ever for a Marvel movie, and I really think it was because he just wasn't done.
Also, they made a big deal about him teaming up with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, and they're only in the first 5 minutes. It's lit. They show the scene in the trailer.
If he had not left with the Guardians of the Galaxy, they would not have put them in this movie. I very much, they were like, they couldn't get them out of there fast enough. Their exit almost didn't make sense. where he was like, yeah, you got to find the people you love. Bye, buddy. Out of here. I was like, hold on. Wait, what? Why are they splitting up again? It was the Guardians of the Galaxy had 0 screen time and shouldn't have even been in it. And yet,
no.
Okay, Evan, I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Do they still get Vin Diesel in the booth for Groot? Or are they just using the same ones at this point over and over again?
Wow.
I don't think Vin Diesel's been in the booth for a while.
There's no way.
There's no way. Because one, also, it's like a I am Groot voice. It's not even his real voice. They modify it now.
They can modulate old samples.
I think he has not been in the booth for a long time. Yet,
how are they going to do a whole show?
I think it just came out too. I haven't seen it.
It's out. Oh.
So,
okay.
I think he's still getting paid, but he has not been in the booth for a while.
Gets royalties for every time that line is dropped.
Can you believe that? And it was all because Marvel liked the stunt casting of it in whatever year Guardians of the Galaxy came out. They were like, Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel. And it was like, what? No way.
Speaking of the Guardians of the Galaxy, this is my last bit of animation news. This is actual animation.
Good.
The new Garfield movie starring Chris Pratt. And apparently Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
Is he going to be Odie?
No way, bro. That's crazy.
Or is he going to be John?
Or is he going to be John? I don't know, actually. Now you have me questioning it. Yeah. I think he's got to be Odie, but that's going to be a very wildly different Odie than I think we're used to.
They announced the release date February 16th, 2024. So we have that
more on the slate for 2024.
Yeah.
Our 2024 is getting booked and busy. If you have anything in 2024 you need us to do, so you can get us in there now.
Yeah.
This is 2 years away. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else. I'm shocked we just passed an hour of time. We talked about the movie for maybe 30 minutes. Impressive stuff, my friend. Hey, if you are listening, for real though, if you're still listening at this point, like you a real one. We love you so much. Like, thank you for being here.
I think that will do it for for this episode of the podcast. We kind of covered luck. And like I said, avoid that movie like the fucking plague.
Wow. I'm going to do our sign off though. I don't think I can say anything else about luck, so I'm not even going to try. So for more Two Dudes, please check us out on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you find podcasts. Go check out our old episodes. We have a very extensive catalog at this point. I was looking through it, Evan. We've covered a lot of stuff at this point. A wide range. I guarantee there's something else you've watched or loved or liked or even wanted to watch in our catalog. So go check it out. You can follow us at Two Dudes Watch Cartoons on both Instagram and TikTok. Or if you're on Twitter, we are at Two Dudes Watch. And, if you're on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rate and review. We really appreciate that. That helps, I'm sure, some sort of algorithm for new people to find us. So thank you.
Please write us a review.
Yeah, write us a review. We get the ratings.
Tell the people what you love.
Yeah, what do you... Let's not tell us what you'd like about it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. We appreciate you though. Thank you for being here and sticking with us through the nonsense that is the animated world at this point. Our animated world.
That'll do it for this episode. We will catch you next time.
Whoop, whoop.
Two dudes watch cartoons.
Love that. I love that intro and outro. It's crisp.
It's perfect.
Yeah.